Hey guys, I'm Tyler Kopstock and welcome to my channel. I represent Frontline Academy and I'm a student under Eduardo Teta Rios. I'm a full-time Jiu-Jitsu athlete and instructor, and I created this page to share my techniques, training, and Jiu-Jitsu journey with you. Feel free to like and subscribe, and welcome to the family. Us. Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the beginner's course, and today we're going to go through some retaining from the back mount. So when I'm talking about retaining, I'm meaning bringing the hooks back into the middle and maintaining the control of the position. So a lot of the times when you have the back mount, you'll see your opponent trying to take away your hooks and then trying to slide their hips to the floor. And so there's several different ways you can try to get back into the position and get the control back again. So we're gonna go through some basic ways here, and today we're gonna go with a very nice gift wrap grip that I like to do here. So we're gonna grab the wrist here with the opposite hand, and I'm gonna grab my own wrist here. This is also known as a Kimura grip, but I like to call it the gift wrap, as it's kind of like wrapping his arm around his neck here. Okay, so we're gonna go through the easy side here first. So the easy side is when his head is leaning on top of my arm, and that means I'm blocking his head from going to the floor here. This is perfect. Of course, a lot of the times he's going to be active to push this hook to the ground, which means he's going to be sliding out. Okay? First thing we have to make sure of is to always have this pressure behind their back, right? If we lose this pressure and he keeps going, then suddenly now his back is glued to the floor, and it's going to make it really hard for me to try to get that control behind his shoulders again, okay? So coming from the start here, I lost my bottom hook here, and I'm keeping the pressure, okay? Just going to give you guys a different view here. And so what you'll see is that I'm going to come up on my elbow and on my knee here, okay? I'm sliding my knee super close to his head, and I'm going to get really tight, just like we've done in the earlier videos, okay? So now I'm going to pull him back over me here to the side. Make sure that you're not pulling straight up on top of you, and now I can get that hook back in, okay? So this is the first and simple way of retaining the back mount position. So he goes, come up, and I get him back in. Okay, now we're going to talk about the difficult side, going this way. So when he slides over here, it becomes a little bit harder for me to control and come up and pull him over me. So we're going to go with a little bit of fancy retaining variation here, okay? Watch now how I'm opening up his arm a little bit here. I like to switch sometimes to the pinky grip here with the bottom hand. This way I can now maneuver this arm over his head. Okay, so the arm was beside. Now I want to go over to the other side here, and then I really want to go as deep as I can under his armpit. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to really glue my ribs to the back of his back here. Okay, this way I can now release my bottom hand and try to come up. Okay, watch how I'm controlling his right shoulder with my left arm, and I'm using my left leg here almost as if I can't get the twister hook, that's the best. If I could just have the hook, that's good enough. But basically, what I'm trying to do here is to control two opposites of his body. So his leg and his arm up here, okay? This way, by keeping tight to Christian here, if he tries to move either towards me or away from me, I'm pretty much glued to his back here, okay? At a certain point, when I've gotten myself up all the way here, I'm now going to slide my knee in pretty much in this little pocket here that you'll see underneath here, and just try to pull him over me all the way. Now I can go in for the underhook here, seat belt again, and then the second hook. So I have the back mount again, right? So we're going to take that one again. We end up on the side. I'm going to now go in with my arm. Let's say he's sliding over my leg here. Come up, stay tight, pull him over me. And there we go. Back into the gift wrap. And I have the control that I want. So there you have two different ways to recover depending on which side you're losing the hook. And of course, you can always change the seat belt. You can always do it however you like, depending on if you have the grips or if you don't have the gift wrap, you might want to be going for a choke. So yeah, there's definitely small details that comes into play later on. Thank you guys. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here from the gift wrap position. So now we're gonna go for an armbar. And basically, if you want to drill this with the movement that we've been working so far, let's say Christian here is on his side and I am going for this arm here, okay? Let's move a little bit to the center. Aesthetically pleasing. So, like I've said before, he's trying to go over my leg and I'm coming up here, okay? So from this position, I can of course pull him over me and go for the back mount first. Depending a little bit on the rule set as well, right? If it's IBJJF, I would highly recommend going for the points first and then the armbar. As an armbar might be a scramble and then you might lose the position, okay? But you can use this position here to swing your elbow over his head, step over, and now fall back into the armbar, okay? So you do have that option, okay? And it's basically the same technique, but once you've gotten him over you and you start getting the hooks, now when I feel like it, let me just turn a little bit here, I'll now keep moving my leg across his body, and watch this. I'm gonna push him a little bit away and I'm gonna get my elbow over his head, and this elbow helps me push his face and create a little bit of distance. This is so that I can bring my my other leg here over his head and keep stretching him away, okay? Still having the Kimura grip, I'm not gonna stretch his arm. Hands together here, make sure that I'm really pinching my knees together. If you wanna be a little bit specific, I like to pull with one hand and then come with the other hand from the top. So I'm really pointing it so it's bringing force down, right? Back here. So once I'm on this side, right, make sure you're on this side if you're gonna move this leg, okay? Because now I can easily move this leg over his head here. If we were on the other side, my leg would be stuck on the ground. Therefore, I would have to wait until he is trying to escape, for example, right? So here, boom, push with the arm. There we go, pinch, and we have the armbar, right? So you got two variations. Let's just do variation 1 first, or one more time here. So, boom, and, oh, give me a second. Wow. Here, I come up, I swing it, and here we have the armbar, right? The second time, I'm here, I pull him all the way over first, get my points perhaps. Now I'm gonna push him away, get my leg over, and there we go. We have an armbar. Very simple and efficient way of attacking. Of course, some would say the choke is perhaps a better choice because if you don't have to choke, you basically pass out, but anyone can kind of like tolerate the pain when it's an armbar, right? But that's up to you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, please like and subscribe. Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the beginner's course, and today we're gonna go a little bit further on how to control the back from the back mount. And what's very common is that you'll start to lose hooks as we go, and how we're gonna retain them, that's what we're gonna go through today. And so it's pretty much basic way of doing it, the first one, and then the second one is a little bit more technical. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have the gift wrap here today. So I'm gonna be grabbing his wrist with my opposite arm, and I'm gonna grab my own wrist with this arm going underneath his armpit, okay? This way I have really good control of his head and his arm here, and I can always stay tight, okay? So we're gonna take the easy one first, where he goes down on this side here. So now, most likely he'll try to step over or slide his hips over my bottom leg, okay? Notice that I'm gonna try to keep this pressure behind his back here all the time. If I'm really lazy here and he starts to slip his shoulder to the floor, I've lost the position the best circumstances that can happen is that I actually try to catch the mount and I get it, right? But I want to keep the back mount now. So I'm going to try to keep the pressure behind your shoulder at all times, okay? So by keeping the pressure here, I'm now going to come up on my elbow and then on my knee. So we're going to just turn a little bit here so you guys can see. So you slide it over my bottom leg. So now it's free here. So I'm going to bring my elbow up, then my knee, and get tight, okay? Now I'm going to pull him over to the side here. So I'm going to retain by pulling him over, bringing him over with me, and now catching my top hook here, okay? Boom. Now, one more time on that one. So, he managed to take away my bottom hook. I come up, and I bring him over, and retain my hook back in again, okay? Now what happens if he's starting to go over to the other side here? So now it's a little bit harder for me to just keep the grips and go back, right? So what do? I switch it up. So I'm gonna grab his wrist here, or his palm, like right below the pinky, to control it for a second. And I'm now gonna maneuver my arm over his head here, okay? So I wanna come on the other side of his head. I wanna bring this arm as deep as possible under his armpit, okay? As I do so, I'm going to let go of his hand here, and I'm going to bring my elbow to the floor, okay? So, basically what I'm trying to do here is to get really tight to his right shoulder with my left arm, and I'm gluing my ribs to his back here behind his left shoulder, okay? So I'm always staying tight here. If you can, having a twister hook on the bottom here is perfect. That's a really good control. If you don't get the twister hook, that's fine. Just having a hook is good enough, okay? We're just gonna turn so you guys can see. So this is the control that I'm looking for. Most likely you're starting from this point and you're gonna use your elbow to get up on your knee. And now I'm gonna slide my knee right underneath his armpit so I can pull him over me and then proceed to get back the seat belt or the gift wrap and then the second hook again, okay? So repeat that one. So here, he steps over. I get my arm over here. Boom, tight. Slide my knee in, pull him over. Get my gift wrap or the seat belt, and then the hook as well, okay? There, we got a way to recover the hooks on both sides. And so we're kind of more prepared if anything happens, right? And so it's really nice to always be able to bring people back in. But of course, you can change, you can transition into other positions, but being able to control from the back will help you get a lot of submissions in the end. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here from the back mount. So now we're gonna go for the armbar attack here. And it's pretty basic with the gift wrap. And we have two ways of doing it. So we're gonna go with the first one here when he's already on his side. This time he escaped my leg and I'm coming up here. Okay, so we're just gonna turn. Okay, so here, right now, my arm is going around his head here. And my leg can be in between, but most likely I can just chop it on beside his ribs here, and that's fine enough, okay? So now I'm just gonna go for the armbar straight ahead here. But keep in mind, I'm not getting those 4 points, especially if it's IBJJF rules. You might want to go first for the back, get those points, and then go for the attack after. In case you actually lose the submission, and then you have to win on points, right? So here, I'm going to really push forward here. I'm going to bring my elbow over his head. Okay, so this is really helping me control the distance. Now I can bring the other leg over, and then I can start stretching his arm and falling back. Okay, so when I get to the armbar position, I can now stretch his arm by keeping my hand around his bottom thumb kind of joint here. And I'm going to bring my top hand on this side on top, and I'm going to push down from above, right? So this gives me a really good power to keep going for the armbar, right? And of course, pinch your knees. So this is one of the alternatives. Going here, boom, falling back. And there we go, okay? If you want to be a little bit on the safe side, so we're going to turn a little bit here. So first, I bring him over to the back mount. Nice and easy. I got the hooks. Maybe I got the points perfect. Now I'm going to step on his hip here. Okay? So this is going to help me create a little bit of distance. I'm going to chop my leg across his body. I'm going to bring my elbow and force his head away. Okay? This way now I can bring my other leg across or above his head, around, and now I'm going to straighten my legs out, go for the arm bar, same grips, stretching the arm, coming from above, and pinching my knees to get the tap, okay? So we got the back, I'm stepping on the hips, bringing my leg across his body. Now I'm going to try to push his head away with my elbow, and there we go. I have the arm bar, okay? So, very basic attack, and some would say you shouldn't go for the arm bar. It's better to go for choke because people can't stop themselves from like sleeping, but anyone can kind of tolerate an arm bar, or at least kind of like if there's a lot of adrenaline, they might not feel as much pain as they will feel later on, right? So sometimes the choke is a better choice. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you guys I hope to see you guys next time, and please like and subscribe.